more food. Chase. Hey guys, so shooting this a little different today. It is almost 9 a.m. And if you're wondering why I'm sitting on the floor, it's because this is usually where I have my breakfast. Because my son, who is off camera, is in his bouncy. And he's eating bananas. Hold on. Yummy. I'm pretty excited about today. Some of you already know the backstory to this video because when I found this listing online, I about died. And I had to share the excitement with you guys. Going to finish up breakfast and then make my way on over to meet the seller and pick up this amazingly beautiful plant. I was so excited when I saw it that I completely forgot to ask like all the important questions. Mainly, how old is it? Because it is such a mature plant, I can only imagine it's well over 10 years old. Most often these types of plants are what you call heritage plants because they usually get passed down from one generation to another. It becomes like an heirloom. That is if your family decides to keep it in the family. I don't know about you, but being a plant enthusiast, and I hate to admit it, collector, is, oh my goodness. Oh yes. Yes, yes, it's coming, it's coming. You are so needy. Sometimes I wonder that too with some of my plants. If it's something that my kids are going to want to enjoy with me as they grow older. That would be pretty amazing. My other son seems to take an interest in plants, so that's pretty cool. I myself, when I was younger, I've always had an interest in plants. Even when I was little, my first plant, or my first memory when it comes to plants was when I had to have been like 8 years old. And my first plant was actually a weed. I remember digging it up and putting it in like a container and growing it. And it was really cool because it grew so fast. And for like an 8-year-old, it's all about getting results. You know, because kids don't have patience. You know, so with it being a weed and a very prolific grower, it was quite gratifying to see it grow so quickly. But yeah, that was my first memory of plants. Don't feed the doggy. Our dog, oh no. No. Hold on, I need to get a baby wipe now. That That was too cute. No, don't feed the doggy. Oh yeah. Is that why he likes to stand around you during breakfast? Yeah, we're gonna get going here and can't wait to show you what I will be bringing home. Oh my gosh, guys, look at this plant. Getting this plant in the car was quite a challenge, and I can only imagine it's gonna be the same getting it out. Hey guys, so I'm back now, and the trip ended up being a little over a 45-minute drive there and back. And actually I was able to chat with the seller a little bit, and I asked her why she was actually getting rid of her plant. And she told me mainly it was because she's getting older and it was getting a little hard for her to care for some of her plants in her collection, and she was just trying to downsize. And then I asked her how old the plant was, because sometimes it's actually really hard to tell the age of a plant just based off of its size. When I asked her when it was that she actually got the plant, she couldn't even remember. She's been in Florida since the 80s, and she's had it probably before then, but the earliest she can recall had to have been 84, 85. So this plant is at least 35 years old, and it has been growing in the same pot, surprisingly enough, and you won't guess this. It does not have a drainage hole. So that is probably one of the first things I'm going to do when I get around to it, is to repot it, give it some fresh soil, and put it in a container that actually has a drainage hole. Because one of the things to be mindful when growing these types of plants is to not overwater it. You can totally tell that this was a plant that was loved and cared for, to have been able to grow in a pot that doesn't have a drainage hole and to be as old as it is. I'm truly taken back by the fact that I now own this gorgeous plant, and I really hope that someday I can pass this plant down and it can become an heirloom plant. The seller actually was hoping to keep the plant in the family because she's had it so long, but her daughter lives in Arizona and there just really was no way to get the plant to her. So now that this Crassula ovata Golem jade plant is in my family, I really hope to do right by it and grow it for the next 30+ years, and hope someday to pass it down to my kids. Well guys, that's it for this video. Be sure to stay tuned for the next video, as I will be repotting and giving this jade plant a new home in a pot with a drainage hole. And you guys can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. When I am not shooting videos, I am taking pictures, as there's always something new growing in the garden. And see you next time. Bye!